A walk among the stars, the monsters, the paranormal, and supernatural. Join your tour guides, Justin and Josh, on this cryptic journey through life and beyond. What you may not know is you've been on this journey for a long time, and you finally arrived. Join us and our cult by subscribing to this podcast and giving us a generous 5-star rating. With doing so, your soul will be set and the afterlife defined. Welcome to It's Cryptic Out There.
Welcome everybody to another episode of It's Cryptic Out There podcast. I am your host Justin, alongside my co-host Josh.
What's up?
No catchphrase? Are you like done with that at this point?
I mean, at this point, I haven't done it in like 10 episodes.
That's right.
It's just hard. What else is there? You know, my Ghastly, Giles, Jeepers. I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know.
Wow. Well, I mean, we'll take it.
Yeah, sure.
We'll take it.
My little Jeepers.
Yeah. So how you doing this week?
Doing good. Glad to be back. It's always good to be back.
Yeah.
Talking about the cryptic, spooky, and paranormal.
Yeah. Well, this one today is...
we got Mavis with us, too.
Yeah, Mavis, by the way, if she gets
out of the
up...
cage.
Out of the cage. Once again, she's laying down.
Yeah, good girl.
Yeah. If she gets up and starts trying to, come towards us, we'll try and, hey, go back.
Probably be cut out.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's been a week, y'all.
Yeah,
it's been a week. It's just been busy. I'm tired.
It's been busy.
I haven't even been home today, except for like 10 minutes. Ran inside, changed, left.
Yeah.
So that's about it.
I haven't got a lot of sleep.
Yeah, sleep is just, I don't think it exists. I think it's a myth.
Right?
I don't think anyone ever actually sleeps. I think they just stop being awake for a little bit.
Wow.
Yeah. Some might call that sleeping, but I'd call you a liar.
Right. Well, speaking of not sleeping, I had a nightmare last night. Well, last night it was more of 4 a.m.
Yeah.
So, this is a little ridiculous, okay?
Of course.
So, I had a dream where I was taking a dump.
Okay.
In some random public place.
As you do, when you have to.
Yeah. By the way, do you put toilet paper on the seat in public places, or do you just sit?
I just sit.
Okay.
Yeah.
I put toilet paper.
Yeah, you can just take a shower or something afterwards.
Yeah, I guess.
Or, whatever.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I'm sitting on the toilet, and then I hear, somebody from behind me. Oh. And for whatever reason, there's an opening. There's the wall, but there's an opening behind me.
Yeah.
So there's no, there's no, official wall.
Yes.
To, block everything.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Well, I hear somebody, crawl up the wall and peek over down at me.
Okay.
And I look up, and I'm like, what the hell? Why are you looking at me?
Yeah. Because,
for whatever reason, it's one of my worst fears to have a stranger peek and look while I'm taking a shit.
I mean, that'd be scary.
Yeah.
Why are you watching me poop?
Yeah. Well, he's peeking over like this, trying to look at, my stuff.
Yeah.
And for what, I don't know why, but it's the toilet went with me. Like I'm on a rolly chair.
Like a little scooter thing. Yeah.
And I'm turn to the other corner, and he crawls underneath. And he's just, he's walking like this, and he's very tall too. So he's kind of cartoonishly tall. Yeah. And he's just, coming at me. And apparently I'm screaming and, jerking around in the bed. And Julia is patting me, waking me up. She's like, Justin. I'm like, And I wake up, and I'm like, I literally tell her this. I'm like, thank you for waking me up.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I was in the scariest dream ever.
One of my worst fears.
You know what's crazy is that you're probably laying there doing all this. She's like, oh my God, Justin is having this extremely scary story. And you're like, I'm riding on my scooter toilet and Spider-Man is running after me, chasing me.
Some weird, creepy, tallish, lanky thing is just trying to get at me with my pants down.
Jeez, man. You need to...
Yeah.
I don't know how you would fix that.
I don't know.
Would you watch or?
I don't know.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I don't know. But it would be awful if that happened in real life.
I'd hate that. Yeah,
I would
hate that.
Yeah, I would too.
I would maybe just ask the person watching me though. First of all, would you stop?
Yeah.
And then after that, maybe I would.
Yeah.
Right
like,
away
what would you do? Would you wipe your butt real fast and then
maybe
attack
I'd just sit
him?
there. Just let him watch.
But what if he?
Charge him $5 an hour?
But what if he like came up to you and like was about to like touch you and stuff?
All right. Well, if you're about to come up and assault me, yeah, I'm gonna do something about it. Shit on my ass or not, you know. Don't come up and.
Do you pull up your pants or do you wipe real quick?
I'm fighting.
Yeah.
I'm fighting. Pants around my ankles. I'll attack this weird man.
I'm sorry, everybody.
Yeah, that's
ridiculous.
If you watch the last episode, I said something and then realized how ridiculous it was.
Y'all, it's been a long day.
It's been a lot.
Anyway, those type of dreams I have, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
That's cool.
If that was too much, I'm sorry.
I don't know.
But I wanted to tell you that because I thought it was wild.
I'm trying to think, and I can't have any coming to me right now, but I know I have dreams that are just crazy. I mean, I told you that toy dream. I said that on the podcast. I'm talking about a lot of my dreams.
Your dad?
Yeah, just slamming the door in my face. You're lying. It's not even that's my dream dad. What a dick.
Your dream dad's scary.
Yeah, I don't like that guy.
Real life dad's
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Not like that. He probably, if I would have ran to their room and done that, he probably would have been like, well, there's no toys taking you. Do we need to take you to a hospital? Hey, I watched that, I wanted to say this. I saved this specifically for the podcast. That Casey Anthony documentary, right? I watched a little bit of it. There's a whole lot of people who were like, did she do it? Didn't she do it? You want to know what my thing is? Who the fuck would profit off their dead daughter? Who would make a whole documentary off their dead daughter? You know she's getting paid. You know she's in the limelight. Regardless of if she did it or didn't do it, in either of those options, why would you make a documentary about your dead daughter?
You're pretty shitty as it is.
I mean, her whole thing is trying to proclaim her innocence and everything that went through it. But just as we cover on this podcast, it's not about you. You either did the murder or had nothing to do with it. It's about your daughter who was a victim of a terrible crime.
Right.
You know, who ceased to exist, you know, that affected so many people that you, bitch, failed to report for 31 days. But I won't get into the exact specifics of the case.
And she's out of prison, too.
Oh, she got, like, no time, man. She's been out of prison for a while, right?
I don't know. I have to watch the documentary.
Let me see real quick.
I do remember seeing, like, on Twitter or something that she's, like, in the club partying and drinking and dancing and stuff. That was a couple years ago, but I haven't watched the documentary yet. Plan to. But wouldn't you want to make a documentary on, like, who may have killed your daughter?
I was going to say, if it wasn't me, then I wouldn't be trying to...
Why all you know?
Yeah. And, like, she talks about how she has a social anxiety and she has all of this, like... All right, even if you didn't do it, you failed in so many ways. I couldn't imagine being if my cat got out of my house, I would do whatever I could to try and find my cat. You're telling me your kid's dead?
You said she had a social what?
Social anxiety.
Social anxiety.
From, like, the whole case and everything. And, you know, everyone thinking that she's a murderer and she murdered her kid and got away with murdering her child and everything.
I was accused of killing my kid when I didn't. My whole life goal would be to find who did it.
So in the documentary, she gets a tattoo in some language that says the good life while they're searching for her daughter.
She did it.
And then she gets it covered up and, like, man, I don't know. There's too many... you only get so many excuses of, oh man, it's a traumatic experience. I was acting out and blah, 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 blah. It's like, nah, man, at some point you're just an idiot criminal who thinks that you either got away with it or something.
Yeah.
Or maybe you are just an idiot or something. I don't know. She did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, got away with it, man. It's like O.J. Simpson.
Right?
Yeah.
He cut her head off, essentially.
Who? O.J. Simpson? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Murdered the shit out of Ron Goldman and...
Yeah.
I can't remember her name. Do you know her name?
No, I'd have to look into it.
Oh, Nicole Brown Simpson. Duh. Ron Goldman
Yeah.
and Nicole Brown Simpson.
Yeah.
Duh. Forgot.
You know, it's pretty sad when we know more about the killers' names than we do sometimes the victims.
Well, I mean, in O.J.'s case,
yeah,
he was a fantastic football player.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, if you go look at some of his stats, he had some very impressive stats.
Right.
But there's a really good ESPN, like, it's ESPN Films. It's not a 30 for 30 on O.J. Simpson. And there were some guys, I think linebackers, who had talked about if you tackled O.J., like, the intensity of, like, when he got up after you tackled him, of like there just a dead stare, nothing in his eyes, like I'll fucking kill you.
He probably really would.
Yeah, he probably would have, just because you know, I don't know.
Beat him to it.
Yeah, and messed with his success.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Wow. Jeez.
Yeah.
I'll have to watch that documentary though.
Yeah, all of them are pretty good, I suppose. It's murder porn, as they call it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Do you want to add to that, or?
Yeah, I mean, somebody made a...
Go.
Yeah, listen, I don't know. I'm at the point now where if anyone has a problem with the podcast, you don't like what we're doing, if you go out on Facebook and you make a comment talking about how terrible it is, I don't think it's about the podcast. I think it's just about you wanting to get some attention off of talking bad about something that people are working on.
Yeah.
You know, like, this is clearly Justin and I's passion, and we've worked really, really hard to get to this point. You know, so for anyone who wants to take that from us, trying to say that we have bad intentions or we don't care or anything like that, you're just wrong.
Yeah.
You know? And maybe, honestly, for someone to comment and say that our show is murder porn and we don't do anything means you haven't watched a damn episode.
Yeah, I was going to say
you haven't watched it.
There's no way that he listened or watched.
Yeah, seriously, you didn't. You just didn't like it. And then blocked me before I even had a chance to comment.
Apparently, I guess people know that you'll respond back.
Yeah, why wouldn't I?
Yeah.
You're talking bad about what we do. Like,
Yeah.
of course.
Right.
Of course I'm going to say something.
I wanted to say something, but Julie was like, you probably shouldn't.
Call the hotline.
Yeah.
You got a problem. There are ways to reach out to us.
Yeah, we
I
can
have
even
no
put you on the
problem.
podcast if you want.
Yeah, seriously, I have no problem.
It looked like he could have been on the podcast.
We won't get into that. But, yeah, so, whatever. You know, you don't like
I'm in
it.
as a guest. Anyway.
Yeah, whatever.
Which,
you know what, like, I will say this, since we made all of that, and I am making a joke of it, because it really means nothing to me. What means a lot to me are all the people who do reach out to us and tell us how much they love it or look forward to it.
Right.
Like, that, I will get a huge smile on my face every time I see it, because those are the people, like, and you know, if you're listening, the ones who listen every week, who reach out, comment on the episodes every time.
We know who you are.
Yeah, we know who you are, and we appreciate you.
Absolutely.
You know, that is what makes this worth it. 100%, you know?
What even is murder porn?
Man, keep hating. Keep hating. It only keeps driving me, homie.
Right.
Ugh,
like,
gosh.
I don't understand that term.
Murder porn? Well, it's just, you know, like, people who, like, it's so weird to call what we're doing murder porn when they're, like, investigation discovery exists.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's so many documentaries.
Yeah. That's why I said it's just hate. Yeah. That's all it is.
This is literally just like a conversation of spooky stuff and, you know,
talking
crazy
about murder
stuff.
cases and everything. Which I've always assumed that, like, anyone who's watching could just go and find court records. It's free. It's easy.
Yeah.
You just look it up. You know, it's not like we're doing anything that's crazy, you know?
It's kind of like human nature to have conversations about society and what's going on.
And also, I think people want to, like, with these stories that we're covering, I don't know a lot about the ins and outs of what's going on. And I also think that, speaking of human nature and everything, that we were curious as to know why someone was killed. Mm-hmm. Because it's such a crazy, unfathomable thing. It's so inhuman, I would say, wrong, sinful, whatever you want to call it, to kill somebody. So when it happens, like, we want to know the details.
Yeah.
And, like, I can't sit here. Like, I couldn't listen to this podcast for 8 hours straight. I couldn't watch crime documentaries for 8 hours straight.
Right.
If you can, sure, whatever. If that's what you like and that's what you want to do.
I can't say much.
That's fine.
Right.
Like, that is okay. I would never,
But I know for a fact, I'm not one of those type of people.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy. It's insane to me, man. Like, everybody's got to hate on somebody for liking something. Mm-hmm. That's really all it is. So, and if you're listening to the person,
it's not even necessarily liking. It's more fascinated with the subject.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, you're interested in it.
Yeah, and why wouldn't you be?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you be interested in the murders that happen around Giles?
Right.
Like the murder up. Gosh, my brain stopped working.
It's okay.
One of the most recent ones that we did up
Wolf Creek.
Yeah, the Wolf Creek murders. Like, how many people have driven up Wolf Creek and drove past that murder scene and didn't know?
Right.
Had no clue that had happened.
Yeah.
Or knew where it was, or knew the details of it, or anything about that, or even know who the two people were.
Right.
Like, to me, that's the big thing.
That's what I brought up in that episode.
Giving names to these people. They're not just the two kids that were murdered up Wolf Creek.
And what's sad is, we try and find a lot of information about the victims. Mm-hmm. However, there's more information about
the murderer.
And,
maybe that's just because the murderer has to go through the court case.
Yeah.
They go in front of a psychologist.
Because they're the one
their whole life
ultimately lives.
Yeah.
Until,
certain
circumstances.
Their whole life gets thrown out there.
Yeah.
Every intricate, intimate detail about this person by the time court. I mean, the guy that just murdered the 3 West Virginia football players.
Yeah.
By the time his case is done, like, we will know everything about him. Izzy Atute.
Yeah.
You knew everything about him. What his family life was, what his parents did, everything,
right.
up to the point of when he killed Jerry Smith.
However, that one's kind of different because Jerry Smith was also not a great person. And he had a lot of history.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's where you get into the semantics of it, right?
Yeah. Maybe one day if you know what I'm talking about. A little surprise.
Oh, yeah.
A little surprise.
Yeah, a little baby surprise.
Yeah. So if you see a little surprise at some point, maybe soon. Who knows? Who cares?
Soon. We'd love to do a live show.
That's
just
true.
We've talked. I know we put on the Facebook page about the meet and greet.
Meet and greet. Yeah.
I'd love to do like a live show where we could just either talk about like experiences that we've had.
Yeah.
Or
get to just know, like, our super fans get to know one each other.
Yeah. Maybe we can do like a hoodie giveaway or something.
Something like that.
Raffle.
Yeah. Well, that being said, we're going to talk about murder.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Okay.
Give everyone a reason to hate us, right?
Right. But before, the housekeeping. If you like and want to see this show grow, please like and subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Leave a 5-star review and comment. Leave suggestions, whatever you like. And it helps the show out through the algorithm. It shows our podcasts, to others.
Yeah.
That might be interested in it. So that would be great if people who haven't liked and subscribed to do so.
Cold chill. Jeez.
Oh, it's great.
That's scary. I have this flannel jacket on and everything, and I just sit here and
it might be Vanessa wanting to get out of the box.
Oh, gosh. I don't know.
Yeah. We'll leave her in there tonight. All right. Well, let's get to the crazy story we have today that just happened on Black Friday. I have the article up. Ex-Virginia state trooper shot dead after kidnapping teen and murdering her family.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes. So, I don't know the full details of it. Josh doesn't know either. So, we're just going to read off from...
it's still very new.
Yeah, it's very new.
Yeah.
New York Post, TMZ, stuff like that. And we're just going to have, our own thoughts about it.
Yeah.
Because it's pretty wild. And we thought that it would be an interesting topic to talk about because he was from Virginia, and now it's nationwide.
I mean, he was a cop, too.
Yeah, that's true.
State trooper.
And we have an exclusive detail
Oh, okay.
on the killer from a anonymous source.
Nice.
Yeah. So here we go.
Let's do it.
A former Virginia state trooper allegedly kidnapped a California teenager girl he had been catfishing online. After murdering her family, according to police, authorities say Austin Lee Edwards, who was 28, our age, drove more than 2,500 miles across the country to Riverside to meet the teen Friday, which is day after Thanksgiving, Black Friday.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Edwards then allegedly killed the girl's grandparents and mom, set fire to their home, and took off with the victim. Deputies from the I don't know how to pronounce that,
San
Bernardino, that's right, County Sheriff's Department tracked down Edwards and fatally shot him later that day during a shootout.
Oof.
So he is dead.
Suicide by cop.
Yeah. According to law enforcement, the juvenile victim who was found with Edwards was unharmed and taken into protective custody by the Riverside County Department of Public Social Services.
Crazy how they always say unharmed in these articles, but
right,
the amount of
severe
mental trauma.
Yes.
Yeah, just that poor girl's life is now not only forever changed, but ruined.
For sure.
For ruined.
Yeah. Edwards from North Chesterfield, Virginia, met the girl online and obtained her personal information by passing himself off as someone else, in a practice commonly known as, quote, catfishing, the Riverside Police Department said in a press release. You ever watch that show?
What?
Catfish?
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah, I used to watch a lot. My mom loves that show.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is pretty crazy, but honestly, like, it makes sense. To me, catfishing is just like another form of identity theft, right?
I would think so.
Yeah.
I would think so.
There is a really good... Oh, man. Is it called Untold on Netflix? They do sports documentaries where they just talk about things, but they do one where it's kind of like catfishing for Manti Te'o. Do you know who Manti Te'o is?
I've heard of the name.
He was, I believe, a linebacker from Notre Dame, and he got catfished by this girl, that he was in love with, thought he was going to marry and everything. And the person who's actually in the documentary who catfished talks about it and just what they were going through and what was in their mind and all that. And it just seemed like it got deeper and deeper and deeper for him, to build this lie. Until one day it came to a head and the catfisher was just like, used their real voice, which they had done.
Yeah.
In previous times, to be like, hey, she's dead.
Wow.
Yeah, and so he ended up playing like his entire senior season for Notre Dame for her and his grandmother, who died on the same, like, his grandma died, and then he was like, I guess this is the best time to say that I'm dead. The catfish is dead. God. So they both supposedly died on the same night.
Jeez.
And he dedicated like his whole season to him. It was rough, dude.
That's crazy.
Poor guy ended up, like, people were calling him a liar and, like, all this stuff to get sympathy and all these things. Man, it was awful.
Jesus.
Yeah. Terrible, dude. Terrible.
God.
Yeah.
Okay. It is unclear how long the two were communicating, as of right now.
Of course. So new that
Yeah.
And he's dead, so...
Yeah, she'll only be able to tell.
Yeah, well, they'll have to go through her stuff, his
Yeah.
stuff,
The shocking incident began unfolding just after 11 a.m. Friday when police in Riverside got a call for a welfare check concerning a young woman who, quote, appeared distressed when getting into a red Kia Soul in the 11200 block of Price Court. While officers were responding, dispatchers were then alerted to smoke and possible fire a few houses away from where police were called for the welfare check. The Riverside Fire Department discovered 3 adults lying in the front entryway and took them outside, where first responders, quote, determined they were victims of an apparent homicide, police said. Investigators later determined that the young woman described in the initial welfare call had lived at the house where the 3 people were found dead, police said. The bodies found in the scorched Riverside home were identified as the abducted teen's grandparents and mother. Mark, okay, help me out with pronouncing, I don't want to get this wrong. W-I-N-E-K. Winnick?
Yeah, Winnick or Winnick.
Winnick or Winnick?
Winnick.
Winnick. Mark Winnick, who was 69, his wife, Sherry Winnick, S-H-A-R-I-E. Sherry?
Yeah, I'd say, yeah.
Sherry Winnick, who was 65, and their 38-year-old daughter, Brooke Winnick. Police have not revealed their causes of death as of Monday, but they believe Edwards traveled across the country, parked his car in the neighbor's driveway, walked to the teen's home, and killed her family before leaving with the girl.
They say leaving, not kidnapping?
Right?
Not hostage?
Right.
Took her hostage or anything? Like,
What do you think?
it's not like she left willingly.
That, or maybe this article didn't know that.
I mean, there's Stockholm Syndrome, you know?
Right.
There was a girl who was kidnapped, I mean, this isn't like the 80s, you know, by like a guerrilla revolutionary. And I think she was a pretty, like the daughter of a pretty high head of state for some country. And she ended up joining this guerrilla revolution group.
Mm-hmm.
But when she got kidnapped, she just kind of got brainwashed into believing what they believed in.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that she, you know, went along with this,
Yeah.
but maybe they just worded that because,
I mean, you don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, well, they also don't say how they died.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's an ongoing investigation. Trial
Yeah.
hadn't even started.
Right.
Nothing, you know.
yeah. Okay. The cause of the fire was under investigation, but it appeared to have been, quote, initially ignited. Police said it is unclear if the grandparents and mother were killed before the fire was allegedly set. Riverside authorities distributed a description of Edwards' car to law enforcement agencies, and several hours later, police located the car with Edwards and the teenager in Kelso in San Bernardino County. Edwards fired gunshots and was killed by deputies who returned fire. Edwards was hired by the Virginia State Police and entered the police academy on July 6, 2021. He graduated as a trooper on January 21st, 2022,
Jeez.
and was assigned to Henrico
Yeah.
County within the agency's Richmond Division until his resignation on October 28th. Edwards also worked for the Washington County Sheriff's Department and Virginia authorities in California said. Riverside Police Chief Larry Gonzalez called the case, quote, yet another horrific reminder of the predators existing online who prey on our children.
I mean, not just existing online, but existing in your police department. You
Right.
know, like, that's another thing.
Right.
Like, that dude existed for however long that he was talking to this girl, upholding the law while simultaneously being
I'm sure there's
a
going to be some
pedophile predator.
investigations with that, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, how did he even get that far? Like, I mean, I guess you can lie through it or whatever, lie through a psych evaluation or however it takes to get to that point. But
Yeah.
damn, man, that's
Looks bad
rough.
on Virginia.
Yeah.
During the vigil held Saturday, friends and neighbors described the Winnicks as a caring and loving family who were deeply involved in their community. Quote, you can't ask for a better friend than Mark, quote, Ron Smith. Mark Winnick's friend of 30 years told the Mercury News, quote, there's going to be a hole in my heart that's going to be hard to fill. Okay, so that is essentially the story that everybody knows as of right now. Well, then there's some other stuff. This article was, it goes more in detail with him as a police officer. Until last month, Edwards was a Virginia State Police trooper assigned to patrol
Henrico.
Henrico County, Virginia, and was recently hired as sheriff's deputy in that state, spokesperson said. Edwards, a resident of North Chesterfield, Virginia, met the girl online and obtained her personal information by deceiving her with a false identity, known as catfishing. The bodies found, okay, we know that. The teenager was unharmed. Authorities believe Edwards parked his vehicle in the neighbor's driveway, walked to their home and the family, and killed the members, leaving with the girl. Dispatchers were alerted to smoke. Okay. Pretty much the same wording.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Edwards was hired by the Virginia State Police and entered the police academy on July... Yep, that's the same... Maybe this is the same article.
Well, I think if anything, they're kind of only getting the same information, from whatever the police is.
I found it now. Edwards was hired as a deputy in Washington County, Virginia on November 16th and had begun orientation to be assigned to the patrol division. The sheriff's office said in a statement during the hiring process, quote, no employers disclosed any troubles or internal investigations pertaining to Edwards. Quote, it is shocking and is sad to the entire law enforcement community that such an evil and wicked person could infiltrate law enforcement while concealing his true identity as a computer predator and murderer. Our thoughts and prayers are with the Winnick family, their friends, officers, and all of those affected by this heinous crime.
I just don't understand how you can act shocked and surprised. Like, I just don't understand how somebody did this when it's like, well, we could go and find a whole lot of them just this year that it happened.
Right.
Like, it is not uncommon.
No.
Which, like, that is just the state of the way things are, I suppose. There's plenty of... It's kind of like when we were talking about with the WDBJ7 murders.
Yeah.
Was it not negligent of WDBJ7 to not fully vet Vester Flanagan before they hired him?
Right.
At that point, how can you not be accountable if he had this entire record of showing that he was aggressive and rude and like spontaneous and everything towards his coworkers?
So it seems like there needs to be more of a background check.
More of a background check. This goes into a bunch, deeper like political issue. Yeah, obviously, but it's just like that 31-year-old assistant manager at Walmart who shot up. There are going to be people, and no matter in any situation, who will. Look at doctors who kill patients on the DL.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, like, that shit is wild, So, I just hate how in modern times everyone gets shocked by an intense, terrible crime when there are...
everywhere.
3 school shootings a month.
Yeah.
Like, come on. We don't become so... Either you can't be desensitized to it, and you can't constantly be surprised by it, or nothing will change.
Right.
Well,
Gonzalez said, which is, great comment, if you already had a conversation with your kids on how to be safe online and on social media, have it again. Mm-hmm. If not, start it now to better protect them.
For sure. And in modern times, man, like, that is, like, they always talk about iPad kids and stuff. Like, damn, man. I don't know if I would want to maybe just move out into the woods and raise a kid to hunt and fish and be like, all right, if worst comes to worst, you can always do this.
Yeah.
You don't have to get on Xbox or nothing.
A little Josh just roaming around in the woods.
Eating raw fish with its hands.
There you go.
Hands. I said it because maybe it becomes like half bear or something.
Yeah, probably.
Just goes out
Squash.
there. It becomes that tall, lanky thing that was in your nightmare.
God.
Crawls
Please
around.
No. Don't bring that up again. All right, so here is a very creepy, cryptic detail on Edwards. Killer blacked out windows of new home. Purchased days before killings and abduction.
So he bought a new home days before he killed them?
Yeah.
Probably blacked out the windows so he could do whatever he needed to do.
Well, here's the thing.
Sounds about some paranoia.
Yeah. We're learning more about the sickening triple murder of the 15-year-old girl's family and the possible fate she faced if her abductor would have gotten her back to his home across the country. Isn't that so scary?
2,500 miles he would have had to travel with her.
God.
And nothing go wrong.
God. Real estate records reveal Austin Lee Edwards paid $80,000 for his 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom house in Saltville, Virginia, on November 14th, just 11 days before killing 3 people on Riverside, California.
Man, Saltville's not far from us.
No? How far do you think?
A little on past Tazewell.
How far is Tazewell?
About 45 minutes, maybe.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay.
Maybe, well, from here, I'd say 45 minutes to an hour.
Gotcha. We spoke with neighbors. This is TMZ. We spoke with neighbors who tell us Edwards almost immediately blacked out the windows of the home, the car with car tent. We've obtained photos showing it was next to impossible to see inside the home, and we'll, present photos like right now.
Yeah.
One of the neighbors tells us that they had a brief conversation with Edwards, who said he chose to move there to get out of Richmond, Virginia. They also say Edwards wore a trench coat when he went to the water department to turn on his utilities, which they thought was odd. And here's a photo as well with him in a trench coat, which is kind of weird that people were taking photos of him.
What's wrong with the trench coat?
Well, did I show you this photo? It's right there.
Oh, he's just wearing a trench coat?
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah. When was that taken? Now, if he's wearing a trench coat in August, yeah.
Yeah.
But if he's wearing a trench coat in the fall,
right.
Well,
I mean, I guess if he bought the turn on his utilities, it would have been in November, so...
I mean, trench coats are just immediately associated with gunslingers, like all Western cowboys or,
right.
Like Columbine we were talking about a little bit
right.
before
we
started.
I wouldn't think a trench coat would be that popular in Virginia. More in, like, northern... I don't know. Who knows?
How many
they
of you
just
guys
thought that
own a trench coat?
Yeah, I mean... I have a penny coat.
I don't even know where you'd go buy a trench coat.
Belk, maybe?
I've never seen one.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe in the suit aisle? I don't know.
I guess, yeah.
Anyway, they thought it was weird. They have photos of it. Okay, whatever.
Yeah. Which, again, like, kind of weird to take photos of somebody who's at the water department wearing a trench coat.
That's what I thought.
As
for his possessions, we're told Edwards didn't appear to have much, barely any furniture. We know cops have been active on the property over the last few days, removing evidence bags as they searched his home. Cops say Edwards killed the 15-year-old girl's mother and grandparents before setting their house on fire and then abducted the young girl. He was later caught in the police chase, and he was after one of the grandparents' neighbors called 911. Okay, which ended in a shootout, leaving him dead. And then the last part of this article, you have to wonder what sick fate this 15-year-old could have faced if Edwards was successful in getting her from California to Virginia, especially given the fact he wanted to hide whatever was going to happen inside his new home. I wonder what's inside that house.
Yeah.
Or the police that, took out.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's going to come out, and it might be really fucked.
Well, it's like John Wayne Gacy.
Mm-hmm.
They eventually went in his house, turned on the thermostat, or turned it on and could just smell the rotting flesh.
Right.
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah.
They went up in his house.
I don't know
the fridge.
I don't know if you checked out one of the earlier episodes. I did the Toy Box Killer.
I think so.
Well, he would kidnap prostitutes, and he had his own trailer, and he had a gynecologist table or gynecology table, where doctors inspect females.
Yeah.
He had it all set up, straps, everything, and then torture devices. Fucked. Who knows what he has in there?
Oh,
but
yeah.
I'm sure it will.
But it's just crazy of him, though. I wonder what it was about this one girl, because easily he could have kidnapped any girl
in California.
Yeah, you drove.
That just goes to show how maybe sick he was.
Yeah,
he didn't care where she was.
Fixation.
He was going to go get her.
Yeah, the fixation.
The he looks really creepy. Very creepy.
Yeah. Look at that hair.
Yeah.
Come on, man. I ain't got no hair. Just
well, at least you'll do something about it.
Yeah, shave it.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it's a developing, ongoing, case.
Yeah.
but I didn't really think we were going to do this episode until we got this message from this anonymous source.
Yeah.
And then I was like, maybe we should share it because...
Check it out.
Yeah, because it kind of hits home. All right, so I asked this anonymous source if they wanted to come on the podcast over the phone or just leave a voicemail, and they decided to just write out what they remember of Edwards.
Yeah.
This source went to school with Austin Edwards, and this is what he put. Here's what I remember. He was a little odd, seemed like the quiet, shy type unless you got to know him. Then he seemed pretty normal, would laugh and carry on just like anyone else. He always seemed well-mannered and nice. I know he was definitely picked on and bullied a lot, but he did always have this odd demeanor about him. I didn't know him really well, so there's not much for me to tell. And then he goes on to mention about the blacked out windows and was wondering what he might be up to with the girl.
Yeah. Well, I was sitting here thinking, like, how could he get away with that? How could you explain off that you have tinted windows? I'm a cop. I work shift.
Okay.
I work shift work. If I black out my windows, the sun won't come in.
Yeah.
I'll be able to sleep better.
Still, but get curtains.
Blackout curtains, yeah.
Yeah. Get black curtains.
But the thing is that reasoning, if someone were to offhand throw that to you.
Yeah. Oh, that makes sense.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And then
He's
days.
He's got a good tint guy. He knows a guy who can tint home windows.
Right,
you know? Like, whatever. You just kind of... But that's because, like, we, for some reason, knowing how violent and terrible people can be, we still... And this is, like, the beautiful aspect of being a human being. Mm-hmm. We still want to believe and trust and generally be good. We want to think that people are good as well, That's why if someone were to throw something offhand to you, you'd just be like, oh, whatever.
Right.
That doesn't seem out of the ordinary. They gave me a pretty reasonable explanation for it.
I mean, well, just from that source, it sounded like he was just like a normal kind of nerdish type kid in a way, that had been bullied, but would seem pretty normal and nice when you got to know him.
Yeah.
That's just even more scary.
Yeah.
When you don't
there's
really
like
expect.
the stereotype about cops where, the bullied kids become cops so that they can do the bullying, the stereotype and everything.
And that could be the factor here.
I mean, this guy became a state trooper. You now know everything about murder. You know everything about, or not everything about murder, but you know everything about the
law, ins and outs,
the pomp and circumstances of it, of a court trial, everything. You know everything at that point. He basically got trained up to go and do this.
What if this was his? No, this is just a theory. What if this is like his plan all along? Yeah. He's had this sick disease of being a pedophile. Mm-hmm. Becomes a cop to have that power.
Yeah.
Buys a house. Is planning to set up shop on doing whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe that was his plan all along.
Could have been. It could have been just to be able to increase his chances of being able to succeed at whatever. Yeah. Because it probably could have been like, oh, I'll kidnap this girl, kill her, do whatever I'm going to do to her, and then that'll be it. That'll be the only time I do it. That'll be it. And then he does it, somehow gets rid of the body, does whatever.
I mean, if you're going to black out your windows, it seems like you're going to have like a career doing this.
Oh, yeah. Man, what was the guy who killed his, like, 2 kids and his pregnant wife? Chris something.
Watts?
Yes. Yeah. Like, I mean, they caught him carrying the bodies out in trash bags, like, through the camera. Yeah. Like something like that. Maybe they wasn't carrying out the bodies, but, like, they got his truck and everything on camera the night that the murders were supposed to happen or something like that. You think you're so slick. It's just that one mess up. Mm-hmm.
Did you ever watch Don't Fuck with Cats?
No.
You got to.
I can't, dude.
Okay, the title sounds, pretty intense. It's not what you think.
Yeah.
Plus, they blur out some stuff, so you'll be okay.
Do I have to hear any cats?
I don't think so. No.
Nothing?
No.
All right.
However, it is probably the craziest true crime documentary I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Luca Manata.
Luca Manata? Okay. I'll watch it.
You have to watch it.
Yeah, I'll fast forward through any of the cat stuff.
I'm telling you, dude, it is insane.
Yeah.
And it sounds, that type of person was like this guy.
Yeah, dude. That's, what they say about serial killers. Starts with animals, or whatever.
Oh, yeah, for sure. In that documentary, for sure.
Yeah.
But not only is this guy a murderer, but he's also a potential pedophile.
Yeah.
So he's the worst of the
worst.
worst.
Well, you don't know, the catfishing aspect of it. How long was he talking to this girl?
Yeah.
How long did he cultivate this relationship? And, how did he exchange pictures with her and stuff like that?
Right.
Which, man, you were just a sick human being to take advantage of a child like that.
He looks like a little twerp that needs to be bullied.
Well, I mean, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Because then what does that turn him into if he gets bullied? Is that what turned him into, being able to turn someone into a demented?
I have a thing with that. I mean, I've been bullied a lot. I know a lot of people that have been bullied a lot, and they're not killers.
There's a big difference, though, of people who are bullied in a sense of, haha, you're fat or whatever, versus people who are beat up or pushed in a locker. I mean, you're pushing people to a psychological breaking point.
Right.
It doesn't matter if, the thought process...
But the bullying might not be the reason why he is like that.
No, I'm not saying that it is. I'm more so just stating the fact of, what we can deem as, I know plenty of people who have been bullied and haven't gone out and done anything.
I was more of this face right here, I want to smack him because he looks shit.
Well, I mean, is it because of that, or is it because of all the stuff that he's done to this point?
Probably that, yeah.
That's really what it is.
Yeah.
It's not about what the person looks like, it's about the acts that they do to go there. And people who bully people based off of looks or whatever,
right.
Fuck you.
Right.
Because they do cause a lot of problems.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't mean that someone gets bullied once and nothing happens or whatever, or in any situation, but it is a ball.
Yeah.
It is a rolling ball that gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger as time goes on. People don't understand the small impacts that you can make off of an offhand comment.
A comment?
Yeah. Just something offhand that you might not even mean.
They'll remember that
forever and stew on it.
Yes.
And stew on it and stew on it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why some of these people commit shootings and stuff.
Yeah.
It's one comment that's made that someone sits there and thinks about every day until they go out and commit it. Anything that we think of, it's not a normal decision. No, it's not.
Right.
It's not a normal decision. It's an emotional, psychological decision that's being made there. It is not so simple.
Right.
That is, the more that we learn about this or the more that we talk or anything, none of this is normal.
There was a certain instance I had a couple months ago. I won't say who it was or anything like that, but this person called this girl a fat bitch.
Oh, wow.
In front of her face, in front of a bunch of people.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And I was like, she's going to remember that for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
Because of your,
Because you're an asshole.
Asshole.
Yeah. Yeah. Man.
That's so sad.
That is so sad, man. But probably because that guy has some insecurities.
I think you just misunderstood. I might have said it wrong.
Oh, it wasn't more so about what you said.
Yeah,
it's just about that in general. You know, I was just thinking, if you can't understand why a murderer did it, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
If you could understand why a murderer went out and murdered somebody,
right,
you might have a problem.
Right.
And that's more so what I mean.
Yeah.
Is that it's not that easy.
Yeah.
To sit here and say I never would have done that. Well, clearly you wouldn't because you didn't kill anybody.
Right.
These things are just, and everyone is situational.
Mm-hmm.
This guy, whatever he did, what he did, or whatever feelings or
what I know now. That's why I said I was I want to smack that face because.
Oh yeah, I feel the same way. And even when I hear about stuff that happens in the county, like, that makes me want to go out there and stomp some ass. Yeah, for real. It's awful, dude. It is so terrible. Because we are not here for a long time.
No.
You know, and if you spend your time deciding to make someone's life worse,
or ending it.
yeah, or ending it. I mean, that's the thing, man. Life is so valuable, you only get one shot. Imagine dying as a teenager, killing yourself as a teenager, when you have so much life ahead of you, all because there's some kids there who get some sort of sick pleasure out of, you know, or even people now who go on social media and just troll comments or whatever.
The bitches.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why, like, when we were talking earlier about someone who wants to comment and say anything, you don't get a free pass to say whatever you want to me without any repercussion.
That's Josh Farrell.
You just don't. You don't get a free pass to say what we're doing is sick and disgusting and just not expect me not to say anything.
Right.
You know, because it's so far from the truth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, unless you block me and I don't get a chance, you know, then yeah, but
If they really did that, that's so funny.
yeah, well, you know, whatever.
He's gonna come for me.
Yeah, I'm going to say this and
Better block
he won't
it.
be able to see it.
Just Justin guy won't say anything.
But seriously, like, I just, you know, might as well
Yeah.
stand up for, you know, anybody else and yourself and those. You know, there are people who don't feel like they can stand up for themselves, and that's why, as human beings, we have to do our part.
Right.
You know, you gotta help stand up for everybody.
Damn,
and
Josh.
everything.
You're on one.
But let me tell you, if I'm driving down the road and somebody's road raging at me and they're saying I'm doing something wrong, you damn right I did something wrong. I ain't trying to fucking get shot on the side of 460 because some psycho who is going 20 miles over, driving all over the road, wants to get mad at me because they can't handle themselves.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm wrong. Let me just leave here alive. Because that's modern time, baby.
That's true.
You're lucky to go to the store and leave with your life. You know, you go to the store.
That needs to be tattooed or something.
Shit, bro. Like, life is priceless, but literally every store, hospital, wherever you go.
School?
Yeah, like, you have the possibility of losing the only priceless thing that we have. You know?
It's cryptic out there.
It's cryptic, man. It's cryptic.
Yeah.
It's cryptic. And the world won't change unless we all pitch in and try and change it.
There you go.
You know? I'm a little pissed off. It's awful, man.
This guy's face on my screen still, I'm going to X out.
Change it, man. Gosh.
That bastard.
I am very interested, though, to see more
what
of it
develops.
and
Yeah.
see how it goes. I'm sure they're going to trace his roots all the way back to the Virginia State Police and pull records from there and see what his psych evaluations were. Because it very easily could have been that, you know, over from a year ago. You think of PTSD and shit. You know, what has he experienced in a short amount of time or whatever?
That would be kind of extreme. That would be extreme if that was the case, but who knows?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, situation, who knows what the thing is. I mean, some people can take some mental stress.
Yeah.
I mean, listening to Andy talk about the way that he talks about it, like, he could handle things that others couldn't.
Right.
Just because of what he's experienced,
Yeah.
you know. It doesn't make Andy any more of a person or any less of a person because of that, you know, and it doesn't make the people who can't handle it any more or any less because of that. We're all different.
That's right. I guess maybe we will do an update maybe.
Probably.
Maybe not a full episode of it unless it gets crazy.
Yeah, and then we'll dive really into it.
But I would like to see what transpires, and we will do our best to give our take on it on the show if you guys want that.
Yeah. Sorry for my little rant there.
No, I mean, that's good. That
My bad.
people need that.
That happens.
People need it.
I have a platform,
Yeah,
so
you need to use
I
it.
decided I was going to say it. You know? Strong beliefs,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, that's all we have. That was just a crazy story that we thought we would share. Also, for the reach out to this source.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you
We
for that.
appreciate it. Always appreciate anybody who reaches out and
Absolutely.
gives us a little information that helps tie all the pieces together.
Right. And if this episode gets around to where he's from, people who might have known him, And if you would like to reach out and give your take on how he was or your interactions with him, that would be awesome.
I know we were harsh.
Yeah.
But honestly, like, we don't know this guy personally. We don't know any stories of him or anything. I mean, it's just based off this. And it's so easy to get angry.
Well, either way, he's a piece of shit.
You just get so mad. Yeah, for real. And it's like, so please, like, tell us your interactions with him and what you know. Like,
we have a Cryptic Hotline, 540-358-1583. You can call, leave a voicemail, 3 minutes. It'll end. Call again.
Do another one.
Do another one.
Do as many as you want.
Yeah, or you could just text. Do a long text or whatever. But if you'd like to talk over the phone, just let us know via text or call. Yeah, we'll set something up.
Or if you want to be interviewed in person.
Yeah, that'd be... We need to get more guests in this studio.
Yeah, I know.
For real. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, that's all we got, Josh. Glad you're on the show.
Yeah.
This episode. Glad you're
back. Hopefully I'll come back next week.
Yes. Well, if everybody likes the show, please like and subscribe on YouTube.
5 stars.
5 stars on
helps
Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, it helps us out a lot.
On Spotify, it helps out. Like Josh said, helps us grow. And we are growing, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody who supports the show.
It's Christmas out there.
It's Christmas out there.
Yeah.
And we are going to do a live stream on Facebook.
It's Cryptic Christmas live stream.
Yes. December 16th, which is on a Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know what time. Last time...
Pending.
Yes, that's pending. Because last time we were a little delayed, but we will... we won't make that mistake.
Yeah. First one.
Yeah.
You know, you never know what to expect.
But it turned out
amazing. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun.
All right, well, thanks everybody for listening and watching. And lastly, watch your back. It's Cryptic Out There.